West Highland Way, we're in Milngavie with all the other walkers that are taking off this morning. This is the town center. Yesterday's trail ended right here. And now we're starting the West Highland Way. It's official.
The West Highland Way, Britain's most popular recreational footpath, attracting visitors worldwide for its stunning scenery, wild atmosphere, and varied terrain. Traversing 96 miles from urban jungle to isolated highlands. For 25 years, I dreamed of the chance to tackle this long-distance adventure, and in 2025, I was finally able to do it. And now for introductions. My name is Chris, and this is my son Baron. I'm just your ordinary guy from Middle America that fell in love with all things Scotland as a child, thanks to good fiction novels by Stephen Lawhead, and the fact that my ancestry traces back to Edinburgh and Glasgow. I traveled to Scotland in 2000 on a church mission trip and got a small taste of the beautiful country. Afterward, I vowed to come back with a bit more time so that I could focus on enjoying the experience. And this was the year I finally made good on that vow, dragging my 18-year-old son with me, though it didn't take much convincing. Day 1 on the West Highland Way. A 12-mile trek from Milngavie to the village of Drymen. For us, it started off with an Uber back to the West Highland Way obelisk in Milngavie. As it was mid-May, crowds were just starting to ramp up and there was a bit of a queue at the trailhead. This produced a buzz in the air with the excitement of embarking on the adventure ahead. A recent addition to the start of the trail are these rusted panels depicting many of the landmarks along the route. The latest being the series of rusted panels depicting many of the landmarks along the 96-mile trek. After leaving the trailhead, we immediately rejoined the Yonder River within Milngavie for a pleasing city walk. It continues like this for about a mile, and then abruptly we found ourselves in a wood ascending to the top of a small hill, giving us our first views.
Just came up our first hill, and this is the first view of the countryside on the West Highland Way. Had a couple of these wooden structures here with rocks on them.
The way continues northward over forested track into Mugduck Country Park, past Craigellachie Loch and Carbith Loch. After a brief stretch of road walking, we passed through a gate in between two fields. The path rose gently to the end of the pastures and to a crest in the hill and another gate. Passing through this gate is like entering a portal. The view itself transports you and is the first realization that we're now beyond civilization. Behind, the hustle and bustle of the big city. Ahead, the peace and solitude of the highlands. If not for the presence of other hikers, I do think this transition would have been a bit more jarring and surreal. The landscape in front of you completely changes and the distant hills call the soul to a bygone time that was wild and rugged. Shortly, the path reaches a disused railway and enters the valley of Glengoyne. The village of Dumgoyne marks the halfway point of the day and requires a refuel at the fantastic Beech Tree Inn, where we rested and enjoyed the collection of animals kept there. Ooh boy, welcome break. We happily stuffed our faces with traditional Scottish dishes and treated ourselves to a gelato in the shop. A short walk down the road took us to a pre-booked tour of the independently operated Glengoyne distillery. Our knowledgeable and hilarious tour guide showed us the ins and outs of what it takes to make a fine whiskey. It was fascinating to learn that the recent drought had caused a major slowdown in production, as the Glengoyne distillery is fed from the spring at the back of the property. The path continues from the beech tree atop the old railway until reaching Gartness village. Finishing the day with a bit of road walking, which curves us northward toward Drymen. Despite the road walking, the views did not disappoint, and the first glimpses of Loch Lomond were visible in the distance. Excitement for the days ahead was difficult to suppress. Just ask Baron. Woo! But there was also an unspoken desire to slow down and enjoy the present. We ambled into town after 5 p.m., causing our hosts at the Kip and the Kirk to fret over us. It was here we met our Dutch friends, who, aside from staying at nearly all the same places as us throughout the walk, were two of the nicest people we met along the way, sharing blister remedies and anecdotes of their adventures. We spent the evening in the square at Drymen, enjoying a meal at the Clachan, a fantastic pub with lots of atmosphere. Join us on the next episode as we tackle the iconic Connacht Hill and the southern portion of Loch Lomond.